Good morning.
Morning.
Good Sabbath to you. Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to be with you here this morning at North Madison Congregational Church, where whoever you are, wherever you are in life's journey, you are welcome. We hope you feel safe and welcome here this morning. I'm Heather Arkovich. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm pastor here where we say all of our members are ministers. And thank you for waiting for me this morning. I was a little late. We're using our phone right now to do live streaming, and I was trying to go away to Facebook. But I think we're up and running. So hello to our virtual friends and to all of you. I'm serving this morning with Linda Giuliani, who is on high, Minister of Music, and Bill, who's our Director of Choir, and I understand we have some special musicians with us today. So thanks for the license, and we've got soloists, I think, in Keith, which is exciting. I've got Deacons Peter Haff and a newly minted Deacon Jules helping lead worship today. And Junior Deacon is Faith, so we're keeping it in the family. And Sue is here, our Minister of Faith Formation. Do we have, how many kiddos have we got in the house today?
Children line.
We're doing children's line, yes. Arabella's gonna help. Arabella. All right, he's gonna help too. Thank you guys, you're the best. What else do I need to tell you? I think those are my big things. I can hand it over to our deacon of the day. So here we go.
Good morning, welcome, Peter Haff, Deacon. Very excited to see everyone today, and we do have some special music I know you'll quite enjoy, and also just what a treat to be here. Just a reminder on our COVID thing, we are masking indoors again until the wave of COVID passes. So if you don't have a mask, we have a new box in the back, and there are plenty available. We can get one for you. And thank you for your care for one another's health and safety. And guess I have an announcement too.
Yeah.
Would Holly like to come on up?
Hello. Good morning. Here is our new container for coins.
Use the mic, yeah.
Oh, yes, okay. the microphone. This is our new coin container. Isn't it attractive? And you can always put your coins in here no matter what the Sunday is, but we will collect it next Sunday. For your information, Madison is now looking for, yes, we're still the Methodist Church, but they're also looking for canned chili.
Huh.
And think of Clinton carbohydrates. Right? They want cereal, they want rice, they want pasta. So Clinton is carbohydrates. So that when you donate those things, I'll know how to separate and I'll know where you want things to go. If you have a jar that is full and you just want to leave it here, that's fine. If you don't have a jar, the jar's here. And if you want to raise your hand, jar. I'm gonna give it. So next Sunday morning, if you just want to come up and report in, anytime you want to, people will appreciate it. You're feeding people who really need it. Thank you so much.
And this one's full. This is a good thing.
And now as we transition to worship on this Sabbath morning, your presence enriches our time together. I hope our worship will be meaningful and inspiring to you. Then we'll leave here changed and more deeply connected to your own heart, one another, and our Creator. Now I'll pass over to Kate.
I dream a world where no other one will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its path adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice lights our day. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth and everyone is free. Where wretchedness will hang its head and joy like a pearl attends the need of humankind. Of such I dream my world.
Amen.
Thank you, Kate.
That's great. So let's dream, my friends. We are gathered here, the children of a God who is a dreamer, who elevates the dreamers throughout all the scriptures and throughout time. So let us join them in dreaming. I invite you to settle in to this dreaming space, to be aware of your body, the vessel through which you live in this life. Feel it, where it aches and pains, where it's comfortable or uncomfortable, where it feels at ease. Be present in yourself. Feel the weight of yourself on the supporting you. Feel your feet connected to the ground. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And take a deep, slow, Sabbath breath, breathing in life, presence, and holding it. You are alive, you are here. And exhale all the worries. Breathe in life. Hold it, put it in you, and breathe out peace. Take a few more breaths at your own pace, thoughtfully. Imagining, realizing you are alive. You hold life within you right here, right now. It's an amazing miracle. You're here. And God is here in you, with you, among you. We are all here connected, made of the same stuff. The stuff of the universe, the stuff of the dew, the stuff of the grass, of the bird, the stuff of wonder. We are parts of our wondering God. We are embodiments of God's wondering love. We are not accidents. We are miracles. We share in this miracle of life that God is living among us, within us, and through us. Let us continue in the spirit of worship. I invite our choir.
Well, we forgot the hymn.
I forgot the hymn. That's me too. Oh, let's see the Please be seated unless you are the choir, in which case, let's do some more singing. Yeah, so this piece that the choir is about to sing for us, Ubuntu, is a concept with which we should now be well familiar. We talk about that here. It is a gift that comes to us from South Africa. And it's a word that essentially means I am because we are. We are united. And it's our wonderful choir and wonderful Brenda is getting her steps in.
If I can invite Arabella to come forward. Oh, and Jameson and Quentin. And Kate, if you want to come up and join me. And Jojo, if you'd like to come. I would love to see you all. Oh, Lauren, you're coming too. Yay. Does anyone want to come up and sit up here with me? Because I need some help today. Hi, guys. I'm gonna take off this mask so you can hear me a little bit better. How y'all doing? Good? You doing well? Awesome. So.
Down. You remove it a little from your mouth. Just hold it down.
Make it go lower. It's too high. I can also turn it off and use the hand.
No, use it. It's good. Just turn it.
Sorry, everyone. Is that better?
Little.
A little. Should I go to the regular microphone?
No, just keep going. Just keep going.
You're good? Okay. I'm good.
Yep.
If I stop moving around, maybe it'll be better too. So I have been thinking about a question lately, and I don't know. Is there feedback still?
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going. So I've been thinking about a question, and it's, what does God want from us every day? And we've been talking a little bit about Bible stories, right? And whether they're made up or they're true. And I think that no matter what the story is or what the passage is, that we can look to this story or this passage and we can get some advice from the writers about what God expects from us or wants from us in our lives. And today's Bible passage is in the book of Micah. And I, after reading it, saw 3 different things that God is asking us to do. So would you like to be my reader for me? Okay. What does that first one say? Humbly walk with God. Walk humbly with God. Do you have any idea what that might mean? That's kind of a funny one, right? What I think it means is that we keep in front of our minds that God is God, and that God sometimes wants us to do things that maybe we don't want to do. So we try to keep that in the forefront of our mind as we go through our days. Can you read number 2 for me? Share loving kindness. What do you think that means? Share kindness, but it's a special kind of kindness because it comes from deeper in our hearts, because it is sharing the love that God gives us, that we hold in our hearts. So it's the love that God has, and we have a little piece of that, right? So it's accessing that love and sharing that love. And then can you read number 3? It says, oh, sorry, everyone. It says to seek justice. So I think what that means, that my microphone went out maybe completely, so I'm going to talk louder. But if seek justice, that means that when we look at each other, we try to see each other as God sees us, as people who are created equally and loved equally by God. So when we work with each other or we play together, we try to keep these things in mind. Now, I brought a little experiment because I thought it would be fun, and I need a helper for that. Would you like to help, Arabella? Okay, so what we're going to do is, this represents one person. It's water, but it represents one person, okay? So if you could do me a favor and come over here and just pour it right into this bowl, okay? Let me open it for you. Can you pour that right into the bowl? Yep, pour it all right into the bowl. Okay. And then let's add a little food coloring just because that's a fun thing to do. Do you like color? Do you like blue or do you like green better? Green? Okay. Let's take it. Oh, now it's back. Do you want to take a little bit of green? Maybe put like 2 little drops into our water there, okay? Okay, can you mix that up for me? Okay, can you all see it? You can, okay, so now we've got some nice green water, right? Okay, now we have person number 2. And we're going to pour person number 2 into our play space. This is where we've gathered for a play date, right? We've got person number 1. We're going to pour in person number 2. And I think that they are starting to argue over what game that they want to play. Okay. And it's kind of getting heated because one person is starting to irritate each other, right? And the other one's starting to get angry, right? And that happens pretty quickly, doesn't it, when you get angry?
Can you hold it up?
So it's like a flash of anger that occurs, right? When you get irritated with someone, when they're not doing what you would like them to do, right? And obviously we're not keeping God in mind when this happens. Can you do me a favor and mix this up and tell me what you see? I'll hold it for you. Just go ahead and mix it. What's happening in there? It's moving. Okay, so if we stop having it move, there's bubbles, or do you think those are little pieces of the oil? Are the oil and water coming together, or are they staying separate? Yeah, they're staying separate. Do you see that? They're not mixing well together, right? And this is because each person just wants what they want, right? They want to play their game, not the other person's game. So let's see if we were to, at this point, when we start to get angry, if we take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath and wait for that. It takes about a minute to 90 seconds, they say, for that flash of anger that you feel where you just want to like grab the board and say, no, we're playing my game. It takes that long for that impulsive feeling that you get to pass out of your body. And during that time, you can say, God, can you help me see this other person as you see them, as someone who's loved? And then we take a breath and we figure out what we can do next, right? And on my list here, it says share loving kindness. So here we have a container. Oh, sorry again. We have a container of loving kindness, our special ingredients, right? So can you do me a favor and sprinkle a little loving kindness over our two people here who are trying to play in our play space? Jameson, do you want to come and stir it? Okay, stir that up for me. You can really stir it, yeah. So what's happening there? Yeah, it's becoming lighter and it's starting to mix together. But look, the oil and the water, or our two people, are still separate, right? I think you should put in a whole lot of loving kindness because you really can never be too kind. Let's put that all in there, okay? And do you want to mix that up first, Jameson? You got to really stir it all up, okay? So look at this. The people are starting to feel loving kindness for each other. They're seeing that they're both loved and they're wanting to start to work together, right? Because look at this. Everyone is now connected and they're covered in loving kindness. You see this? Protected. If I put some salt, we'll have some Play-Doh.
There's some bread.
So yeah, so there we have it. We come together when we think of God, right? And we ask for God's assistance when we start to feel angry with one another, because it's going to happen. Adults struggle with this too. We irritate each other, right? So we take a deep breath, we wait for that initial anger to pass away, and then we say, how can we work together? Right? And if it's too hard to do when you're with a sibling or a friend, go get someone else and say, you know what, come in and help us, because we know that God loves each one of us and wants the best for us, but we need to figure out how to do this, right? And remember, the special ingredients is loving kindness, and it always works, so you use a lot of it. Okay. Thank you all, and we are going to head down to church school.
Amen.
Yes, we can grab salt and we can.
The game we can all agree to, right?
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
But we still need this. You guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, our scripture, as Sue alluded to, is from the book of Micah. And it should sound familiar because it was the end of this passage was the sort of mission and vision statement of this church for a long time. And actually, if any of you know the origin of the choice of that, I would love to know the story. I asked a few people this week, and no one I haven't asked could tell me. So you know the source of the choice of Micah 6:8 for our congregation. Let me know. I see Peter thinking about it. You can tell me after. So Here's our passage, and this is the Message translation. Listen now. Listen to God. Take your stand in court. If you have a complaint, tell the mountains. Make your case to the hills. And now, mountains, hear God's case. Listen, jury earth, for I am bringing charges against my people. I am building a case. I am building a case against Israel. Dear people, how have I done you wrong? Have I burdened you? Have I worn you out? Answer. I delivered you from a bad life in Egypt. I paid a good price to get you out of slavery. I sent Moses to lead you, and Aaron and Miriam to boot. Remember what Balak, king of Moab, tried to do, and how Balaam, son of Beor, turned the tables on him? Remember all those stories about Shittim and Gilgal. Keep all God's salvation stories fresh and present. How, my friends, how can I stand before God and show proper respect to the high God? Should I bring an armload of offerings, topped off with yearling calves? Would God be impressed with thousands of rams or buckets and barrels of olive oil? Would God be moved if I sacrificed my firstborn? My precious baby, to cancel my sin? But God has already made it plain how to live, what to do. What God is looking for in us is quite simple. Do what is fair and just to your neighbor. Be compassionate and loyal in your love. And don't take yourself too seriously. Take God seriously. Another translation of those last two lines, right, is to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Well, we already had Sue tell us the secret ingredient, the loving kindness, the way of unifying things that are set apart. This has been a strange weekend here in Madison for this question of how we do come together and where our loving kindness is needed. Right, last night, we had drag bingo at the church on the green. And this afternoon, we have an event sponsored by Temple Beth Tikva, where we are going to talk about the rise of anti-Semitism along the shoreline and the role we all may have in it. And in response to both things, more the thing last night than the thing this afternoon, but in response to both things, there has been this separation that we saw in Sue's story, the water and oil concept, right? People come together like this instead of coming together like this. And often when we come together like this, we say to ourselves that we're doing it for righteousness' sake. Right? The little knot of protesters last night outside the drag bingo game had a sign that said something like, it's simple. It's simple. Like anything is simple. It's simple. Not in church, not with kids. I mean, okay. And they thought they were coming from a righteousness perspective. I'm sure that in their church this morning, they are preaching the righteousness of that message. But the gaggle of clergy that went inside the building, myself included, and we were from all denominations, faiths, and non-faith communities, had a different idea of righteousness. How do we know what to do? And so often in the midst of this question, don't we feel a little abandoned by God? When I'm hurting because I feel like my righteousness issues aren't being seen and honored by somebody, when I'm in a conversation with someone and I feel like they are not valuing me, right? At home, our families, right? How often? Probably this morning already, you had a conversation with someone in which you were like, I did not feel valued by that exchange, right? Or I'm going to avoid this exchange with you because I already know. We do that too. And when we can't do it at home, how the heck can we do it out in the world? And so we look to God like, God, why is it so hard? Where are you? What do I have to do to get your attention to bring justice in the way I see it? Do I need to give you my firstborn? And when we cry out, we mean it, right? I mean, I've already cried out like that a few times this week, and I meant it each time, right? Like, God, what do you need from me? For this to feel easier, for this to feel better, for me to know more about where I'm supposed to go. And the answer is already here, right? God's a little frustrated. Are you kidding me? Like, how many times do I have to send you the messenger over and over and over before you're going to notice? It's already in you. It's already in you. All you have to do is love. If you're standing outside somebody's door with a sign, check that feeling in your heart. Is that feeling love? If you're standing next to your beloved in the morning after you just had that exchange or avoided that exchange you knew you were going to have, what was that feeling? Was it love? Love is humble. We don't always like humble. Right? Humble's kind of scary. It's vulnerable. But love is humble. And when we're talking about the God of the universe, just take this in for a minute. Can you imagine? Here's God. Floating or whatever you do when there isn't matter, right? God existing and God thrumming with love. Because that's what God is, just thrumming with love. And God is feeling this love and feels a yearning to experience more of this love, to embody the love. And so what does God do? God creates. The rabbis say God sucked God's essence in to make space. And in that space, God created. God put God's essence into matter. And in that matter, those containers, those earthen vessels, holding the presence, the love, the sparks of God, that love thrummed with such power that the vessels couldn't contain it. And so they blew open into creation. Sparks of God's godliness everywhere. And so the work of creation, our work, partnering with God, is to go around and find those little sparks and lift them up. And the rabbis say, in the moment where all of us find a spark simultaneously and lift it up, where we all do a work of loving kindness, simultaneously, the messianic moment, the Messiah arrives. We are transformed, we tip over the tipping point into recognizing, remembering that we were always God all along, that the thrumming love of God is in all of us. We just somehow lose track of that in our embodiment. There's something about being embodied that makes us territorial, that makes us competitive, that makes us come together like this more readily than we come together like this. But imagine God. Imagine the trust. Imagine the trust of God's love and God's nature to release us to our own devices. God lets us harm ourselves, each other, the world, creation, because God knows that in order for us to truly be alive, we have to have agency. In order for us to truly discover the depth of the meaning of love, the real experience, we have to have agency. And when we have agency, we make choices, and when we make choices, we lose track of our love. We lean toward our protection, we lean toward our loyalty, we lean toward our, this is mine, this is for my family. And time quickly goes where we're saying, I have to protect me and mine. And so I've forgotten that yours, are also me. That humbleness, that trust. It's profound what God trusts us with. God literally trusts us with the ability to choose against love. What kind of love is that? It's spectacular. So we have these moments where we're different, right? We're all created different. We're all created as the face of God. We are created in God's image. Each and every one of us are a different facet of this wild kaleidoscope of love living through time and space. Having this human created experience, this opportunity, this gift to experience life in all it holds. And all of us with our kaleidoscope visions, we start looking at each other and saying, but you look like me, you look like me, and I don't look like you. Oh crap, where do I fit in here? Do they know me here? Am I safe? Now I don't know if I'm safe, so I could lean in with trust and love, or I could pull back. And most of us find it's easier to pull back, at least initially. And so we get into things like homophobia and misogyny, right? We get into things like anti-Semitism and racism. We get into things. We even harm the ones we love the closest at home because we have such trouble showing our vulnerable need, our vulnerable desire for love. It's hard. We get into things. And then we go looking around, God, why is it so hard? And God goes, I literally have already told you. Love humbly. Love with trust. Literally, let go. You are connected to everything through space and time, through my love, through the matter that makes you, stuff of the stars. You are connected to everything. Be attached to nothing. Right? That's what the great gurus say. That's what Jesus says. The first thing he says when Mary finds him after the resurrection is what? Don't cling to me. You already hold on to me. Trust that. And if you need to know what to do, love justice. What is justice? Justice is the thing that makes sure everybody's okay. Justice is the thing that goes, whoa, you're hurting more than I'm hurting right now, and that is not okay because you are child God the same way I am. I'm going to practice my love right now because that is where God is going to come. That is where that spark of God that broke open from the earthen vessels is going to get lifted up. Here's our messianic moment. I'm going to come toward you with kindness. Are you hurting? Are you stuck? Are you resisting me? Are you bullying me? I can see you're hurting then. Because if you're so close that you're bullying me, you're resisting me, you're pushing back on me with anger or hatred or control, I'm going to pray for you. Because that soft spot in you is yearning to be safe. Right? It's a different way to look at things. I'm not going to resist you. I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to receive you and make myself vulnerable. That's right. That's big stuff. And I'm going to do it with mercy. Mercy means compassion, loving compassion, that flower of water given. I'm going to do it with loving compassion because the reality is, I can't see the sticks in my own eye. But if I can see your suffering, I'm going to take it seriously and believe. And I'm going to try and bring the God in me to the God in you. And I'm going to try and help you throw with love again. Because that's what we all are in our core. We just forgotten. And we have the opportunity to practice. That's what Jesus is about. That's what the prophets are about. That's the whole thing. It's just love and letting go. And looking around to see who else maybe is hurting a little more than we are right now. That we can lift to. So if you see somebody standing around with a picket sign, you know they're hurting. checking to see if it's with love or resistance. And if it's resistance, don't resist them, just love them back, just reach out, right? Sounds great, Pastor. I'm not even that good at it myself. Preaching to me here. But I do appreciate the check-in. And I do appreciate the opportunity to stand in a community like this, where we can get serious when we read these scriptures about how we're going to live them together, practice them, fail, practice them, make mistakes, practice them, reach out to God, pray you, God say, I told you, and come back together again, keep doing it and doing it until we grow with that love. So we're not jealous anymore, we're not competitive anymore, we're not resisting anymore, we're humble, vulnerable, we are strong in our ability to trust that nothing can come between us and the love of God that's already in us, among us, and for us, rooting for us throughout time, space, and all creation to embody the love that we truly are. Thanks be to God. Now, in that vein, we have a church retreat this weekend already. And it's open to everybody. We have an outside facilitator who's coming, a lovely man, very gifted, very knowledgeable, wonderful church coach. And we're going to talk about our church values, like a 6-8, like our statement over Linda's head, like our learning statement. We're going to distill from that what our core values as a community are and what core values are about, so that we can learn to use them as a template through which to live. And I think it's going to be really meaningful. So if you can come, please do, and please register so we know you're coming, so we have food for you. It's Friday evening and Saturday. Carol can answer any questions you got. It's sponsored by this group of thriving congregations that Sue and I were participating in. So it's free to us. They give us a grant because they want us to thrive and to find the ways we want to thrive. And here we thrive together congregationally. So more of us there, more powerful, better. But we can come. And now it's time for us to receive our offering. So the plates are coming your way for your prayers, your joys and concerns, your offerings, your tithes, and I invite the choir.
I have shown you what go.
Amen.
Good morning. I'm Julie Abbott. I pronounce her she, her, and hers. This is a very special time for our service, so we share aloud the joys and concerns of it. No joys, but I would like to thank the Lanes for this morning. All sharing and meeting with the people. And now for some concerns. Let's remember the Ferralis family as children recovers from COVID. Please pray for our friend Michael, who faces serious surgery on Tuesday. And prayers for our friend in the hospital, 32 weeks pregnant and her water has broken. Also, please pray for our niece, Lakey Johnson, who was admitted to ICU on Friday. That's from Nora and Calvin. Please join me in a minute of silent prayer as we lift up the joys and concerns, the ones that were shared this morning and also the ones that we hold close in our hearts.
As we continue in prayer this morning, I would also like us to remember a couple thousands. Katie's not here today. Let's cover coffee hour because John is hospitalized. And it looks like he's probably going home again, but it's a little sketchy. So if you guys are watching, we are praying for you, with you. We're also glad to have John McCann here with us this morning. He's in visiting us. We're doing that stuff we do as families age. We have to work our way through stuff. So we used to have to really do some copy at home. And we're thinking of all of you families, and we all walk this walk together as we age and make our choices and figure out how to love the loved one and go through and honor one another through the stages of life. It's an honor to do. Let's continue in prayer. Holy One, you knit us together. You knit us together in our mother's wombs in the rich, living darkness, where we come to life, hearing the soothing heartbeat, not knowing what is it. And then we get squeezed. Some of us come through a birth canal, some of us come abruptly to life with a surgeon's knife. Some of us don't make it out that warm, comforting darkness. Life is a mystery even to those of us who are living it. It's a mystery to those of us who birthed it. It's a mystery to those of us who participate in sharing the essences of life that then get birth. And yet we all come through this passage. How is it that we seemingly know so little about what it is that we are? Why it is that we're here? What it is that we're doing? Help us, God, if there are things we can't tell. Help us to remember deeply and surely the things that we can. The great mystics and saints, spiritual travelers through time, are all unified in the confession that you are love and that we are too. Help us to know that right here, right now. Open our hearts, open our knowledge, open our bodies and spirits to receive the truths that have always been here and somehow kept at bay, deepen and grow. Our awareness of our connections to you, to life, to one another, to the love thrumming in our hearts. Help us to embody Tikkun Olam, principle Judaism teaches the healing of the world. Help us when we wake up in the morning and first look out upon the day, when we draw our first conscious breaths each day, to awaken to believing that we can bring healing. We can humble ourselves into true compassion. We can be generous to the point of complete love. And that you are there rooting for us, holding us, drawing us into your fold. That the prayer Jesus prayed for us, that we might all be one as you are here, Lord, might be truly realized. And that all the people and things and places and ideas, music, the tastes and scents and smell that we all love, that they matter. That our loving them is part of our being alive. It is not a consequential, but it is the way. Help us to engage all of our senses, internal and external, to know we are real, we are here. And while we are here and real, we can participate in the becoming. When Moses asked you your name, you said, I am becoming. What I am becoming, I am yours. You are mine. So let us know that, live that, let us become that. And let this prayer we offer for all the hurting places, the fractured places, the places where bone meets bone with pain, with knees, the places where idea meets idea, confusion, with compassion, the places where darkness meets light, as if it is conflict, not only balance and beauty. We ask God for you to expand our wisdom lovingly and kindly, so we may become tuned to seeking justice without fear or reservation, to loving kindness without hesitating or withholding, to doing mercy with all that we are at all times, and then to get up again and do it once more, with forgiveness for ourselves when we stumble and for one another. Never perfect, always enough. Help us, God, to receive you and always move on for your sentence. And for all these prayers we have offered, now and quietly, for all those out there in the world who need extra prayer, we offer our hearts to the name of God. And we pray in the prayer and words of the one who teaches us, your Son, our Father, who art in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and then forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, and
Few announcements. It's okay. Big announcement for today is I really hope that you are considering going at 3 o'clock to Guilford, to the community center for this gathering with Temple Life Tikva. It should be very meaningful, and well facilitated, so it's worth your time. But it's especially worth it for us to show up for us. It's nice to know that we care. That's important. The other thing I'd like to lift up is the women's retreat that is coming soon. We've got to mark your calendar for the 10th and 11th. It will be at the Half Family's Ancestral Home, which is gorgeous, beautiful. It will be a sleepover kind of retreat, and we're getting all the details together. But I hope you mark your calendar and let me or Liz know of your interest, and it will be wonderful to have you for the women's retreat.
Seconding, Carol, did you want to reiterate about what's going on? We'd all like to gather this time.
Carol, my pronouns are she, her, hers. Heather said virtually everything I wanted to say. However, we did say that the registration deadline for Sign Up Genius is tomorrow. If somehow during the week you suddenly feel moved to sign up, don't worry so much about the deadline. We would really love to have everybody there. If you're having trouble with the Sign Up Genius, I know yesterday it just completely went down for no apparent reason and then was back up again. Just call the office and let Jackie know whether you want to come Friday night, Saturday, or both. But we really, really, really would love to have everybody participate. The more people who come, the richer our conversation will be, and the more clear we will be on what we value as an organization. So we'll just get everybody there, and if you have any questions about it, see me after service or call Jackie and she can get a message. Thanks.
Roberta?
There's two things. If anyone was thinking they would like to go to the event this afternoon, would like to carpool from here, just let me know, because sometimes that you don't want to go by yourself, but I'd be happy to organize a carpool. Secondly, if you didn't notice in the news, newsletter on Friday, we are back serving Columbus House. And we're targeting February 11th. I think we can about 3 people so far. We can take up to 6. So if you think you might like to join us again and be part of that, just see in those thanks.
And as we mentioned, there are many other good announcements in your program and so forth, but as a personal thing I'm doing on Tuesday is our wonderful artist Ken Shuey starting a drawing class, so I highly recommend it. Otherwise,
I think this is the time in the service where I give you the benediction, but since I skipped the first 10, for me was a joke. It is, okay. My friends, as we say, life is short. We don't have much time. We're glad in the hearts of those who make this journey with us. So be swift, beloved, and make haste to be kind. May the God who made us, who loves us, and who makes this journey with us, be with us all now and forever. Amen. And shalom.
There goes.
Amen. Our worship is ended, so.
Thanks for being with us, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful week. Maybe we'll see you this afternoon. Blessings, Melinda, if you're watching. And we're here for you if you need us.